That's a big deal for Texas. And Brent, I think how they did it was a big deal. Like, you know what
They
Texas
completely dominated the game.
Texas completely dominated the game. They outgained A&M by 100 yards in the third quarter alone, and they were down 7-0 in the third quarter because they turned it over twice inside the 10-yard line, inside the 15-yard line, going in to score. They made the most mistakes and still, very much dominated that football game. But here's the thing with Texas. I think Texas 100% at the right time, in the right moments, they have the identity. They have their identity on offense. Wisner's toting the pill, man. Like,
yes.
This dude was an afterthought before the season. Remember when Brooks went for the NFL last year? They were supposed to have some freaky freshman kids and some freaky recruits. They get hurt. Wisner's kind of thrown in there, in the Michigan game. But you can tell he's got it going on. And back-to-back games with over 100. He had over 100 yards after contact tonight, which is a big deal because I don't think Texas's weapons are elite on the outside, and they're not good enough to – because Bond's still being dinged up. You can tell he's not 100%. So I don't think they're going to play, pitch and catch the whole time. But I do think the ability to be able to run the football, play action, screen game, Sark do his magic – I think them having an identity along with an elite defense. We talked about that. Yep. They just don't give up big plays. They don't. They're really good up front in the box. They're really good in the secondary, and they don't flinch, and they don't make those mistakes.
The kid had the chance to pick up the block punt and just kind of dove and rolled on it. Like when you
should have heard me screaming at my television. Why are you? Take your time. Scoop the ball up. What are you doing?
It's already 20 yards back. Like there's no shot at them picking it up and craziness going. That was the only chance to make it interesting for that. But no, they completely dominated the game. And, I mean, Texas A&M couldn't do anything. They didn't throw the ball greater than 10 yards down the field seemingly at all. That was kind of a drop back, read, dump it off, check down, or run kind of deal. The injury to the left tackle, the Banks kid got hurt, didn't come back in the game. Is he okay for next week? That's a big deal because obviously that's one of the strengths. And even though Georgia pressured the quarterback a ton in the initial game, it wasn't necessarily an offensive line thing. It was on a few occasions, but over the totality of the game, it was as much Ewer's issue holding the football longer or breaking the pocket and then getting sacked as it was an offensive line issue. So I think that's the only one to mine. I can't remember looking back, but it's the only one where we're going to get a rematch, where we thought we might get multiple rematches in these championship games. But that one next week in the SEC championship game won't be.
And did you ever think you'd see the day where you see a Manning be a Wildcat quarterback? That's mind-blowing to me.
Arch Manning and a real good threat for them.
Yeah, I mean, real good threat. He comes in this short yardage situation. And made the touchdown run. Both their first touchdowns were reviewed. Texas is not an explosive offense, but they know who they are on defense now. They're going to be a problem. They've got momentum they got motivation on their side this time because Georgia beat them last time, and Ewers is probably a little bit more healthy. I know he's a little bit banged up with the ankle, but he had a bunch of scrambles tonight and bought time.
Hit some deep balls too. Finally.
Yeah, and I think those scrambles were big for his squad. I mean, that was huge for his squad. The one down the right sideline was big. He scrambled on another 3rd and 12 and dumped it off when A&M, came up and pressured. So we got that. We've already talked about it. We got Big Ten championship games set with Oregon versus Penn State, and now we got the SEC set with Georgia versus Texas.
One thing I have to apologize to Texas fans. When I went and looked at the box score at the last game in 2011, I saw C. McCoy, and instantly my brain went to Colt, but it was actually Case. So sorry, Texas fans, I screwed that up. So I gotta own up on that one.